Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize for the short delay, as we all know good things are worth waiting for. Uh, Welcome here to this event, co-hosted by the Asia Society Hong Kong, as well as the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship. You might find some flyers outside. We're trying to promote our organization. It's very new. It's a baby organization. So thank you again for everyone who's here. It's really a full house today, and we are just going to go through a bit of photo taking and a very brief opening speech, I promise, before we get to the movie. Thank you so much again for your patience. And now I'm going to welcome the members of the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship. First of all, with Professor Priscilla 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙚, the founding president of the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship, and the following members on the first and second row to take a photo together with us. Thank you so much. Now let's welcome all the members of the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship to the stage, please. Thank you all so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show going. Esteemed guests and dear friends, good evening. It is my great honor to welcome you to this special screening of Gate of Nine Dragons, Searching for Kung Fu, hosted by the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship in collaboration with the Asia Society Hong Kong Center. Tonight, we will embark on a journey that goes beyond martial arts, exploring the deep philosophical values that shape Kung Fu as a way of life. To open this very meaningful event, we're privileged to have with us, again, Professor Priscilla 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙚, member of the Legislative Council of Hong Kong and delegate to the National People's Congress, as well as founding president of the association. Professor Liang has been instrumental in fostering cultural exchange and strengthening international connections. She will now share her insights on the mission of the association and introduce us to the theme of this remarkable documentary. Please join me in a warm round of applause for Professor Liang.
Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, and also before all of you came, the financial secretary also came to show his support to Laurence. And also we have professors deliberately flying from Malaysia, rushing here to watch the works of Laurence, which he has done for 30 years. So it's not a short time. So good evening and welcome to this special event co-hosted by the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship in collaboration with the Asia Society Hong Kong Center. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you tonight as we all come together for the screening of the remarkable documentary Gate of Nine Dragons, Searching for Kung Fu by Laurence Brahm, my buddy friend and also co-founder of the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship. Before we begin, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the Asia Society Hong Kong Center for co-hosting this significant and meaningful event. As one of the 14 centers of Asia Society's diverse network across the globe, Asia Society Hong Kong aims to navigate shared futures for Asia and the world in the fields of arts and culture, business and policy, offering world-class facilities for arts, culture, business, and policy programs. This collaboration between the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship and AS Hong Kong demonstrate our shared commitment to fostering cultural exchange, dialogue, and mutual understanding. Now, as we turn our attention to the film Gate of Nine Dragons, Searching for Chinese Kung Fu, I want to highlight that this documentary is more than a glimpse into the world of martial arts. The principles mentioned in the documentary are not just limited to the practice of Kung Fu. They offer timeless wisdom for navigating every aspect of our lives, whether in our relationships, our work, or our personal journeys. The film is the heart and blood of the 30th year search of Laurence on the philosophy of Chinese Kung Fu. He told me he was inspired by the icon Bruce Lee. Kung Fu is not merely a set of techniques. It is a philosophy, a way of life that can guide us towards greater understanding, balance, and harmony. Whether in martial arts, business strategy, or personal development, these values serve as beacons of wisdom that help us face the challenge of our time. As we reflect on the theme of this film, I want to also share the mission of Hong Kong Association for External Friendship. We are dedicated to fostering international friendships through Hong Kong's role as a global connector. We promote people-to-people diplomacy, cultural and economic cooperation, and civil exchanges through delegations, forums, and also commensurate events like tonight. We are committed to supporting peaceful development and encouraging collaboration in fields such as science, environmental protection, and talent exchange. Furthermore, we advocate for poverty alleviation through education and employment opportunities for underprivileged population. Let us work together to foster the integration of ethnic minority and also our communities in Hong Kong, which are so diversified in culture. We strive to contribute to the world a lasting peace and common prosperity. Without further ado, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the screening of the Gate of Nine Dragons, Searching for Chinese Kung Fu. And I hope that after we watch the film, you may write your film review to encourage, like Laurence, to continue his good work. So we will also follow with a Q&A section if you have any question you would like to ask from Laurence. Finally, thank you very much again to join us to this enjoyable and meaningful evening. Thank you very much.
Hi, man, climbing up these stairs make me feel like I want to learn Kung Fu. Thank you all again for this. And I really feel like we've been building up the anticipation, but I just want to make a quick statement. None of this would have been possible without the generous support of Asia Society Hong Kong for co-hosting this event and for graciously providing this historical venue, a place where culture and dialogue thrive. As a token of appreciation, we would now like to present a certificate of appreciation to Ms. S. 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙠, the president of the Asia Society Hong Kong Center. May I invite the vice presidents of the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship, Mr. Richard Lee and Mr. 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙬 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙜, to the stage for the presentation, please. And I was told that Miss Alice Wong is actually out of Hong Kong today. So Miss Virginia 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙠, the Chief Operating Officer, will be accepting this on her behalf. Please give a warm round of applause for Miss Virginia 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙠. Thank you all so much. Thank you again, Miss Virginia and to Miss Alice Wong for providing this wonderful opportunity. Now, without further ado, let's get the movie rolling. Thank you all for your patience, one of the principles that will be soon mentioned in the movie. Ladies and gentlemen, what an inspiring journey we just witnessed. Please join me to give another big round of applause for Mr. Laurence Brahm, the director and producer of this movie. Woo! Thank you all so much. We will now proceed to the post-screening talk of Mr. Laurence. We'll now also invite, Dr. Priscilla Liang as the moderator.
各位先生、女士、同志們好。我喺香港應該係講廣東話，但係我而家時間喺北京度過香港，所以我講白話唔係好多，所以對唔住，唔好意思啊。今晚我講英文或者國語得唔得？你有 start？
非常好。
Want me to say a few words?
我同你講廣東話。
好啊。
I know some of you might not speak Cantonese. I have known Lawrence, I think, for 30-something years, and our common professor, Professor 𝙤𝙤𝙣𝙤𝙤. Please greet others, because he flew from Malaysia today to watch this movie.
That's something I first of all want to thank Priscilla Liang and our Hong Kong Association for External Friendship, all of the members here tonight. I want to thank you all for your support and Asia Society for making this happen. I also want to thank so many friends in the audience who have been with me on this journey over decades since I first came to China. But I remember the first time I came here to Hong Kong in 1981, the very first person I met when I was at Chinese University of Hong Kong was my professor, who inspired me and has also been the professor to Dr. Liang, and who's inspired both of us, always saying you have to give back to society more than you take. And he has flown here from Malaysia today to be here with us, and I want everyone to give a round of applause to Professor 𝙂𝙖 Chang, who's been our professor. 𝙂𝙖.
OK 我用普通話講係嘛？他是我在中文大學裡面呢教書的時候呢，教到一個學生愛徒 那么呢，他跟我修了我3个科，然后跟我讲，他想到中国去发展。我就问他你想做什么？他想做 reporter。我说行不通。我说你到中国去的话，你骂中国的话，中国不留你；你赞中国的话，外国人不登你的文章。所以我说你最好的办法呢，就去读个 law， 在中国做律师。结果他真的走这条路，到最后呢，很成功的认识到朱镕基。朱镕基也是很懂得爱才，就给他很多机会，包括让他写他的自传。那么我在我的这样多学生里面来讲啊，我讲一句话呢，他还可以学到万万种，就是说一点他就醒，一醒了他就做，一做就成功。所以他在中国不单只是搞电影啊，最重要是他在研究西藏，研究西藏的宗教。他从那个班禅喇嘛一开始的时候，他就跟朱镕基讲，他要想研究班禅喇嘛。很小的时候，他研究什么？看你们中国共产党跟西藏教是怎么样互动的。结果他让他去研究，结果呢，很成功的研究了他到他成长。结果他拍了纪录片，拿到印度去见那个达赖喇嘛。达赖喇嘛呢问他，告诉他，你如果不回去的话将来你的灵童你在外面找的跟中国找的变成2个了。那么这样你自己不念自己。结果呢，达赖喇嘛是同意回去看的。但是他在那个流亡政府印度的不让他回去。所以总之呢，我今天来看他这个电影他能够把中国功夫演绎的非常好。你看到没有？各派各行的，了解中国功夫呢最深刻的一个电影呢，就是这个东西我今天讲了，我是从马来西亚专程为了参加他这个专程来的。梁美芬呢，是我另外一个爱徒来的。他也是我1年级的时候第一堂的时候，他跟我讲我想从英文系转来政治系，有什么条件我就告诉他怎么样做。结果他一路做下去到4年毕业在政治系里面最优秀的一个学生。那么后来呢，他想去留学，法国收他，美国也收他，中国人民大学收他。他就问我你应该去哪里？我应该去哪里？我说毫无疑问你应该去人民大学。结果系里面的所有的老师都反对，只有我一个赞成为什么呢？因为我当时看到他在学生会里面很活跃。那时候呢，所有的学生都反中国，看不起中国，不了解中国，不想了解中国。我说你去了解中国，你回来将来97年的问题就是你的天下了。
谢谢。
好，所以我讲我今天来要不然我有2个爱徒在这边推荐给你们谢谢。
Thank you. Thank you. Professor 𝙂𝙖𝙩 has been an inspiration to both of us throughout the years and has continued to guide us constantly. And so much of what we're doing is actually inspired by him. So let's just give Professor 𝙂𝙖𝙩 another round of applause, please. And I'll just say in the beginning, one of the motivations for doing this movie is really to try to have a way to express Chinese values to the world. Now we have all this internet communication, all this social media. Oh wow, the world's never been so connected before, right? Free news, right? But why are we so disconnected? Why is there such a breakdown in communication, breakdown in understanding, and why is there so much fake news? And so that's why I also, with great honor and thanks to Professor Liang for establishing, with the support of all of our founding members, the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship, because we need to do some people-to-people communication to change a few attitudes in the world so we can better relations. And really, I felt that Kung Fu is a way of doing that, because as an American, growing up in America, and then of course we continue to hear in the news and in all the speeches, American values are universal values, and we have to have democracy and certain types of news reporting and this and that. And actually, these are not values; these are political tools. Okay, so what are values, and what are universal values? And having been accepted in China and embraced and embracing China's culture, these values are really the guiding force behind everything I believe and I'm doing, and Liang Meifan is also, Professor Liang is doing. And the question is, how do we get these values out to the world? And of course, everybody loves Bruce Lee movie, Jackie Chan movie, Jet Li. The Hong Kong Kung Fu culture got such a powerful reach throughout the world. And especially now, so many Westerners are training all kinds of martial arts, and 天下武功出少林, everything has its origin in Shaolin. I don't care whether it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, karate, taekwondo, and of course all the Chinese martial arts. And why are so many Westerners doing this? I mean, they're not doing it. In America, everybody has a gun, so you don't need to learn Kung Fu, right? And most of that, automatic weapons. But actually, it's because there's a deficit of spirituality, there's a deficit of values, there's a deficit of these very important things. Why do so many of our rap groups in America, hip-hop groups, Kanye West, Amigos, Wu-Tang Clan is Wu-Tang, okay? Why do they use this iconography? Because it is actually what they're striving for. They can relate to these values, and these values are universal values. So I think with the start of this, I want to especially thank also Asia Society for hosting this tonight, giving us this platform. And I understand that the Hong Kong Association for External Friendship and Asia Society are beginning a dialogue about taking this movie to America, to Los Angeles, to Houston, to New York, to all the different Asia Society branches, and really trying to create maybe another sort of informal dialogue around people understanding what China's all about. And most important is the final character here, Wu. Because we say Wushu is martial arts. That is a wrong translation. Wu is zhi he ge, and that means to halt the use of weapons. So if we really translate it correctly, it's the art of nonviolence. And I think if we start this dialogue through Asia Society with, Professor Liang and the whole team here, leading and using Kung Fu. Remember, we had ping pong diplomacy, now we're going to have Kung Fu diplomacy, okay? So I think if we are able to do that through Asia Society and open a new dialogue, yeah, maybe it's going to be Kung Fu diplomacy that's going to get us there. And I believe if nonviolence is the penultimate value of all martial artists, well, if America still respects the values that Martin Luther King stood up and died for, then I think we have a lot to talk about. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Professor Liang, and we'll also answer any questions that you have.
Let's go up, don't waste the chairs. Okay, I think all of you would agree that as a Westerner, Laurence has demonstrated his perseverance and understanding of Chinese Kung Fu, which I think many Hong Kong people like us, we were born here, we actually did not get the same kind of depth in understanding Chinese Kung Fu. So thank you for actually showing Chinese Kung Fu in such a transparent and full picture with the philosophy behind. Actually, I would love to let Laurence to talk about a little bit. You see, Laurence has been quite popular for years in Beijing as one of my, actually Professor Zhang has mentioned some of our common history, but I believe he also created both of us. If I have studied in France, when after my graduation in Chinese U, I would have become another person, maybe just a top entrepreneur. But he knew my dream. So actually, it also demonstrates teacher and student and the pursuit of this Kung Fu feelings. I think it was also demonstrated to our actual practice in life. So Laurence, why actually nowadays you find that to show this Kung Fu in Hong Kong to share your findings and this is actually your achievement in the past 30 years. I can see you have already visited all through in China, which many places we did not know. Yeah, why Hong Kong? Why come here and share this actually? Why?
Well, I guess in many ways I started my own journey in China in Hong Kong was under Professor Zhang's guidance. But I think we really need to now use the enormous credibility that Hong Kong has in the world with this Kung Fu culture, this movie culture, and through Hong Kong reach out to the world. And really, I'm really looking forward to, I'm planning right now another feature film on Kung Fu. We have two films in the works. Actually, one we finished, The Source of Karate, where we actually explained how karate's origin was in Kung Fu. That film was done on the request of the Karate Association of China, and it actually won at the Olympic Film Festival at the end of last year in Milan. There's one official Olympic festival it won like the Social Responsibility Award. And so the next movie that's also in process is Searching for Bodhidharma. And I'd like to make a feature film, a really good feature film. I'd like to do that film to express these values to the world, something like Last Samurai, but it's only going to be the story of an American in the Republican period coming here to China and learning the values of China and bringing them to the world. And I want that film to be made here in Hong Kong because I really want to be able to turn to the press conference and say the golden era of Hong Kong Kung Fu films is back. And I really live to see that day when we can all sit here together and say that.
Bruce Lee. Actually, why I invite Laurence to Hong Kong? I have known Laurence for more than 30 years when we were students. I knew him so well that every other 5 years when we met in Beijing and Hong Kong, we have to report each other what we have achieved in the past 5 years. So every time when I met him, he would tell me something about Sino-US relationship and then how he see the world. And we all know now the world is actually under tension. And we might have shared some common history before that. We have this very good training from Professor Zhang that we know we have something we need to do for this world. And I say, Laurence, not only stay in Beijing or in US, you have to come to Hong Kong. Hong Kong has been given a significant role by China to bridge the East and the West, although it's 不是老头, not old-fashioned saying, but it's really now the present role that we have the privilege we should do something. So I started to find and look for all my foreign friends, long-term friendship that we experience a lot of ups and downs who are sitting here. And I got so positive support because every one of us has a heart that we have to do something. Like Kung Fu, we learned something. The world gave us life and such good life, understanding, knowledge about the universe. But now it's for us to do something for the world, which sort of like quite chaotic. Sometimes it gets very unfamiliar to us. Even he's an American, he might find US, the trend is also quite alarming. So I think it's not only us, but now it's for everyone. So I say Laurence should come to share your thoughts because you are a Westerner. It's so good for you as a Westerner to use a Western eye to look at how Chinese culture, how we want to share or we want to keep peace for the world. But it needs effort. So now actually it's one of the first show. We might do something more, and we have done something great. I think this year we would do something more. So pay attention. I hope that we get your views. And we encourage your hands to raise up your hand to ask Laurence, whom I deliberately invite him to come. Not only me showing his movie, he has to come to Hong Kong, let you see his real self. Okay? So any one of you have interest to ask Laurence Cantonese, 普通话、英文都可以。有谁想问一下问题，或是分享你对那个电影的感受也可以。这个也是一种 encouragement. Under the difficulties ahead, we need mutual encouragement to do things for this present world.
Hi. Laurence, thank you so much. It's a beautiful movie. If I can ask this question, we all agree that Kung Fu is deep, right? The philosophy behind. So I'm thinking, the world that we live in today is dysfunctional and it's going downhill. But the philosophy is really the foundation of humanity, really, right? So will you be able to, I'm just thinking about systemic change. So putting this into school curriculum, for example. That's something that is really, really important because I just don't think, the culture, you can promote it worldwide and everything, but in order to be sustainable, imprint into kids of tomorrow that makes our world. And I think this philosophy has to be spread and, the heritage of it. So, not everybody, will be able to do that, but because you guys got connection, clearly, about, sustainable change, systemic change. What's your view on that?
That's a fantastic idea because, we're talking about kind of high-profile dialogue through Asia society going to, America. But actually, these values, we talk about what are universal values, and these values can be put into curriculum. Professor Liang would be the person to actually know how to guide this forward, but to actually put these values or these teachings or even these practices into the education system. I know that Ian Falk, who is also in this film and has been a very strong advocate of martial arts or nonviolence arts in our region, in the Greater Bay Area, wants to promote this for this purpose, to actually, bring into the next generation these traditional Chinese values. Because through these values or through the various Kung Fu systems, you can have a way we can quickly cut into so much of Chinese culture very quickly. And I think this is a fantastic idea. Just as a note, I run I have a club in Beijing called Gate of Nine Dragons also, actually after this. And a lot of young people come. It's a music club at night. They have DJs and a lot of, rock, all kinds. But then what I do is I find a lot of the kids are very lost. And I say, well, would you like to train? So we also have a training facility there. And we train them in these systems. And a lot of them are, getting off of alcohol, getting a direction. One of the girls who was a complete, drug punkster type, she ended up, spending last summer in a Zen center in Zhejiang, and learning meditation and everything because she was inspired by all of that. So I think going to the youth and going to an educational programs is a fantastic idea. Thank you very much.
This exactly actually bingo what we have been thinking right before we started the movie today. Suddenly we have the thoughts that we should have the chance to have it shown in our schools or to the youth or to different kind of groups that maybe even international schools. And so is here. She has a lot of opportunity to meet the youth also. From many of the documentaries that I have watched before, I really like Lawrence's style. I really see that his style to present such kind of very traditional thing, you see, the youth will find it very boring, but his way of presenting it really is very touching and with movements. That is very enjoyable when I found it that way. If we could do it part of the school curriculum, I think other people may help me advocate this. Actually, also to ethnic minorities group. But we also have something more exciting. I do want Lawrence to have the chance to show this movie, even back in the United States, and also even in those circles that we find they may be very familiar to Chinese Kung Fu. In fact, they are not. So maybe the other foreign countries also. I think that would be very interesting to be a communicable portal. This I think is not only to understand traditional Chinese culture and things like that, but really a communication and mutual understanding. Oh, even for me, I really don't know the word wu. Actually, is to stop violence, and also emptiness, that kind of harmony thing in his movie. It's pretty new. I think it's something very attractive to kids, but also adults who thought they understand Chinese culture, but they may not. So that is for, I think we should do something more. And that one of the products here, I want to encourage Lauren to do more. And I want you to come to Hong Kong more so that people can see your real self. And that is because Lawrence hasn't really appeared in our Hong Kong circles too often. So now we invite him to come and hope next time you will also join us. Okay? Any more questions from the floor? I welcome you and thank you. And I hope that those either English or Chinese, 就是中文、英文，如果你有感受，我们欢迎你写这个 film review or just some encouraging remark. For us, it's much more than money thing. 影评或是就是一点点，这个就是这样传出去。I'm a professor also. I do think don't underestimate the words of one person. It really like satellite, okay? Not only the satellite technology. Actually, one word, one sentence, it can spread out. So don't underestimate your encouraging remarks if you enjoy this, and encourage us to do something more to be a bridge of the East and the West, right? Okay, let us give our applause to Lawrence again. Thank you for coming. And you have the book signing?
Yeah, so there's a book that was published in Hong Kong by Open Page Publishing of Hong Kong called Gate of Nine Dragons, Searching for Kung Fu. And the book is in two parts. One, I'm sharing my own experience, learning all the different styles of the art of nonviolence, and also these principles. And so I hope I share it with everyone. And the book is available here, and I'm happy to sign if anybody wants a book. So thank you so much. Thank you.